Let's go! And this is the Underground. World News Live. Back at you for another one. Yeah, man. Mic check 1, 2. To get that out the way. Much love here on this Memorial Day. And thank you, Steve, John Boy, everybody out there with the quick feedback. Jesus Christ is Lord. All praise to the Most High. Much love, Pure Bloods. I hope you guys have had a good weekend, some time with friends and family, or just peace of mind. Crown Jewels, Pixie, Brian, I want to thank everyone out there that shares the stream. Sean, Tacos, Hoodie Ross. Much love and salutes. Steve, Steely, thank you for the super chat. Relentless, legendary, all the time. And John Boy, member of the Underground for 17 months. He says another one, pandemic around the corner. Boy, oh boy. Let me get to cracking and everything here because we got a lot to cover. If you got something to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. You can at me there in the chat to get my attention. I do appreciate all super chats, memberships, coffees, PayPals, all that good stuff. It's appreciated to the fullest, and all prayers. It's more important than you know, especially when multiple people do it. I'm telling you, there's a power We have a power. You're a powerful being. It's time you learn that and start to exercise it. We're going to start off with the sun. The sun, when it goes down tonight, if you have a clear sky, you might want to go check out what's going down due west. And thank you, Comrade Kim. Venus and Jupiter are converging in the twilight sky, and they're going to be noticeably closer together every night as they head for a conjunction on June 8th and 9th. And you can see here on the sky map, you can just look up at Gemini, left side tonight, you're going to see Jupiter, right side Venus. There's a ton of apps out there on the phone that you can just download and point to the sky. It's going to tell you all the stuff, show you all these things. Some of the apps are cool because you can see through the planet, so to speak, from where you're sitting. You can see what's about to come up on the horizon. And you could be looking for it in a certain area. Jay from the Ville in the house. We've got some solar sunspots here that we should probably pay a little bit of attention to. You've got 4444, 4445, 4446, and 4446 is a monster here. They're saying that this thing is a giant that was on the opposite side of the sun, spitting out X-class flares. At what degree, they don't know, because they can't get the correct measurement unless they can see the initial blast off. The blast, they can see that from this side. They can see the filament erupting off the backside, but that initial piece that they're missing, they can never get the strength of it all the way. So, for whatever reason, when these things pop off, coming around the limb over here, they're not as dangerous, so to speak. When they get over on the other side, the magnetic pull can pull these CMEs back toward Earth. It's just the dynamics of how it works. We'll keep an eye on it. That is what's up with some space weather. There was also, in terms of earthquake activity, we had witnessed a six magnitude earthquake strike on the west side of the island, the big island in Hawaii, and a little bit of swarming. If you guys felt that, if you're out there in Hawaii, let me know. If you know got anything on any of these stories, let me know. I love to get the information from the ground. That's the best source. People felt it. If you feel the aftershocks, and any other information that you can throw out there on that, that would be appreciated to the fullest. Yes, much love. Good evening to everybody out there. Uncommon in the house. Good to see everybody. I hope all is well. Meat Puppet, Academy, Cooler. If you don't know, look, some people just obviously don't watch the live show, or they would know some things. And I get it. Not everybody gets, you can't chime in all the time. You can't catch everything. I understand. But like, I have to repeat things sometimes just for that reason. And I get emails today of people just trying to catch up on what's going on and wanting updates. Well, the story I'm going to talk about here, we touched on the last show on Friday. This is Garden Grove in California. There was a tank at a facility in Orange County that was set to explode. It was a chemical tank. They wouldn't say exactly what chemicals, and I still haven't heard exactly what chemicals. They just said it was a super dangerous situation. Now, they did an inspection a couple nights ago, or on Friday night, I believe. Couple inspections. One of them showed them there was a crack in this tank, and they're saying that if it didn't explode, there's a crack that could be helping to vent the whole thing, but they weren't sure. They had over 50,000 people in Orange County evacuated over this thing. Well, I saw earlier, in this wasn't an article. This was just one of the major places I follow just sent out an X post on it, an update saying that they gave the all clear on this, that they did not believe there was going to be an imminent explosion at this site from here on, which is good because they were putting out charts in the briefings showing maps of where they thought the debris was going to go, and anyone north of this thing or downwind was going to be really in the danger path. Jamist, thank you to the fullest for the super chat. Much love. God bless. But this was a 34,000 gallon tank that was used to make plastics. Again, we don't know the exact nature of all the toxic chemicals involved, but from what I hear right now, they don't believe it's going to blow up. So this state of emergency should expire over this incident unless something else pops up. Again, if you're on the ground and you've got the local news station telling you something different, please let us know. Send me a link or just whatever information you can. And but as of right now, that is the latest on the incident in Garden Grove. Okay, so Trump indicating that he's going to sign a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Some of you may like this. We've talked about this before. I personally don't like the back and forth. Just personally, and I don't know. Everyone's got a different preference. If you got someone that really needs that extra hour of daylight in the morning, versus in the evening, it just makes for a shorter day. And I don't like, 6 o'clock. It's dark in the winter. I'd rather that, hang over a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that part. That's for sure. It's bad enough that we lose the sunlight, but yeah. We'll see what happens if he does do it. I've said this before. He's brought it up, but they said they would show us the golden Fort Knox and all that stuff, but they never did. Right? There's supposed to be an audit ongoing, and it's supposed to have been done. Like, where's the results? Like, what's going on? Next one here says we talk about the cost of gasoline, and rightfully so in this environment, war setting, Straits of Hormuz, and I'll get to all that. Where that sets, that's very fluid. They could change in a second. But they're saying and putting the warning out, a warning that I've put out several times, that soon everyone's going to be talking about the cost of food. And it's creeping up. Gas is left and right, food left and right, inflation left and right. It's not going away. Your electric bill is something people can point at, and they can give me a number in the chat. The gas bill, kind of the same at the pump, what they're paying. But when it comes to like everyday food items, most people don't have all those numbers right offhand. And they may not pay too much attention to it until they start having to put back items that they normally were able to get. They're going to realize, man, certain items are like through the roof. You got to be paying attention, make us like, you got to watch everything. Got to watch the packaging. You got to make sure that what you're buying is real. If it says appeal on it, you're slipping. That's Bill Gates. Fake food. Fake fruits. Been approved for years now. Fake meats. Getting pushed out there. You got to watch it. I don't trust anything. Any big company out there, like your Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger Kings, anything like that. What any of the mystery meat anything coming through those places because they're all part of the club. Their owners are and everything else. They've sold us out. They don't care to poison us, put things in there. They don't. They play the same game with lockdowns and everything else. And you know, sometimes you got to see the bigger picture, man, not lose sight of it. This is all orchestrated. Now, I'm going to throw something out there just because. But I think there's a real deal plan to eliminate a whole bunch of us. You know, a million things can happen. But my studies, I'm becoming convinced of one thing, that it's going to happen. And that it's going to tie in to disclosure and the announcement. And again, that we're the bad guys. You got to give up your weapons. But all this is going to tie in to an event with multiple events. Call it your end time event, Mark of the Beast, all this craziness. Locked, real easy way to do that. I think a pandemic is like easiest for them in this at this point. They got soldiers that'll listen. They got teams out there that will round up people. That was the whole reason for people to flood in here. If you have the eyes to see, it was all ploy. Before they could send teams out rounding humans up in America, they had to first have a valid reason to do it, and it was with migrants. The same people are trained now, ready to go round up purebloods. I would watch your 6 from here because I think it's going to get real. It's going to get real for several different reasons. You remember the Georgia Guidestones? You remember them? They got mysteriously taken out. We don't have to talk about how or anything like that, but it came down. And God bless the souls out there that fight evil and that fight the good fight. There is, however, still there should be a time capsule buried at that location. Time capsules are meant to be dug up. No one ever set a time. Wonder what's buried there. Wonder what's buried there. Well, what was one of the key things it said on the Georgia Guidestones? Maintain humanity at 500 million or less. $500 million or less. Remember that. 10 different languages it called for it. Because oddly enough, and I gotta get this out now. I don't know how I forgot about it, but in doing all my research, I recently came across the Sumerian tablets and the King's List, and I told you about all this stuff. I told you about how they packed bags and they got out of here, how the Anunnaki packed bags and got out of here. And that just so happened to find this crazy interview of Jordan Maxwell and Zachariah Sitchin. It was nuts. I never knew they knew each other like that. And it was nuts. And it showed everything that the story says. And he just kind of was hitting everything home, that these cats left after they made us. Uncommon, much love. This is how the story goes. that they fastened modern humans after the Agiki or Ajichi revolted and didn't want to work anymore. But after they made mankind and we grew in large number, we started to emit a bio. I mean, we all do. You all have an aura. You have an energy that you emit. And in mass, this started to bring down the frequency of the atmosphere of this planet by the way we're designed. Meant to have our memories wiped and, all this other stuff regurgitate back into the soul trap. Well, they started to die. They started to fall apart. Beings that did not know did not experience this like this. They bailed, right? They left because so many humans were on the planet. So it seems pretty common sense to me that before they can come back, and we've got 8 billion people here, more than ever, a whole bunch of people got to be wiped out before they can even come back into this atmosphere, because our bioluminescence, our energy, our frequency in mass, a few wouldn't bother them. They even said this. A few people would not bother them. It was like the large cities, the amassment of humans in the frequency. It's just wild. They had to bail because their own creation started to kill them, us, and just our energy force. Meaning they can't come, they definitely could not come back in mass right now. With 8 billion people, you would have to call the back. Do you understand? I come across Phil Snyder. This is the part I already knew, but I forgot. R.I.P., brother. Very few like you. He told us all the goods, but he also said something very important that maybe everyone missed. That was brought to my attention by a little birdie of the spirit. And it placed it right in my lap. And it said, look, hit play. And it was like, look, I'm going to warn you of their alien agenda. They have a plan to wipe out a mass amount of mankind. And this is going to take place by the year 2029. That's the plan. They've known about this forever, for decades and decades. When he gave this video, when he was giving his little speech, they knew about it since the 40s, or, 50s, whatever. They knew about this plan. There was also an alien war. If you don't know Phil Snyder, go look him up, man. Man had damage on him. He was part of what was called the Alien Human War. It took place in August 1979 under Los Alamos base. A real deal. There's only 3 people at the time when he was doing these things that was alive to tell the story. 2 of them were in old folks' homes in Canada, and they wouldn't let no one see him. He was the other, and he was giving underground secret meetings that they were recording. That's what these documentaries ended up being. And they tried to kill him left and right. Even right when he gave one of his last documentaries, they just tried to kill him weeks before he'd been shot in the arm. Crazy. And they ended up getting him. R.I.P., bro. Soldier of soldiers. Okay, so he was shot in this battle and he killed multiple tall grays. He killed 2 of them. All he had was his pistol on the side, and he pulled it because they lowered him in a basket down into an area where other soldiers were. But as he said, the government did not tell them there was an ongoing war the entire time. They get down there, he sees a couple grays, like firefight breaks loose. He says he smokes 2. Third one emits a blue ball of light that just cooks him, fries him, like electrical discharge. It blew off his fingers. You could see his fingers are gone, like melted off his freaking body. And he's like all the way down. He's like, my left foot, he fried all of his nails. He goes, his left foot's like a crispy critter. Okay, he had all the body damage on his guts, on his. Only reason he survived is because another soldier put him in the basket and hit up. And he talked about it and said it. He goes, it's the only reason I'm here right now telling you. And he goes, I got That guy lost his life. 66 people lost their life uh, underneath Los Alamos in that bed. And this man had the scars to show and prove it. Like, there was no one like Phil Snyder, man. Okay? No one. So the spirit brought all this back to me for a reason, to let you know tonight that the same ancient Sumerian texts that speak about these fallen, the Anunnaki, and the same creatures, the same beings he's duking it out with, and we've been underground and here. They got an agenda here by at least 2029. The year stood out to me because it's right before 2030 when they want to have everything implemented. So he's calling for, well, they're calling for a mass killing a bunch of people. Doesn't that matches what has to happen with the Sumerian text before they can even come back? They haven't. You have to wipe out a bunch of humans because we're parasitic to them. It's crazy. It says it in the text. It's freaking nuts, but this is how it goes. People sit around doing lollygag and doing all this stuff, but when you actually research and you soak up the facts of these stories, man, then it's not myth. And you see that these ancient stories overlap, and even overlap with the biblical stories. Just with different names, but telling the same story. It's crazy. But just want to let you know that because they're doing this disclosure thing, and any day we can wake up and it's just going to come out of nowhere, I feel. Because no one's buying this stuff. Like, it just did drop too, showing us some pretty interesting stuff. I did some videos on it, but like, it seems by and large the people out there like, they see on a video, they see this, that's where we're at. Like, people are ready to see a life form. I think they're ready. I think we're ready, but we're not. Because I think too many people will fall for the deception. That's the problem. Like, we're ready. I think we can handle the truth. But you're not going to get the truth. You're going to get the deception. That's the problem with them. So, interesting times, huh? Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, I would be growing a little something this summer. As I was saying before, get some chickens if you can, throw a little coop. Something that keep you alive, right? That's the whole point, right? Doesn't matter if you got to eat eggs every day, at least you're staying alive, right? Better than nothing. People ain't seen hard times yet. I don't want to. No one wants to. Closest thing we've got is recession. They talk about 2008. Nah. We ain't seen hard times yet. We ain't even seen the real deal. We went through a scamdemic. A real one will bring about, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, a real reset. Have no choice. Everything can get pummeled. Why would you reset everything and then do this? Because then everything that you just reset, this whole brand new everything you're trying to bring online, just to bring it down again, it don't make sense. It don't make sense at all. But to use it, knowing what it did last time, people running out to get toilet paper and all that, you got an idea of what's going to happen. Man, oh man. Being Phil Snyder, you're screaming at me from the other side tonight. I swear to you, something's like, oh, and remember, a little clip, one little clip. He just said it out of nowhere. That all these staged things, and there's two things that came out of his mouth. And this is from a long time ago. what they're doing with hantavirus and Ebola. It's like prophetic. And here we are. They are the two. They're juggling back and forth in front of us right now. Hanta and Ebola, and he said it. Only them two. Didn't mention anything else. Only those two. So, Americans are moving. And you want to know where everyone's going? Let's look. This is per 2025. I'm sure a lot of it's still similar right now. You can just see that people are fleeing the West Coast. It's a tragedy. Washington wiped out, Oregon wiped out, California, and the hugest hits. In Alaska, people diving into Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, up there. It's like wherever they're fleeing from the West Coast, they're primarily going up there. It seems that, from Colorado down, it's getting hit hard with weather warfare. The drought itself, water warfare is what's about to happen. Because of the drought, because it's all planned and made this way, very little water going to come down out of the Colorado Rockies and come down into Arizona, through Nevada, California. They're not going to get it. This is going to be a disaster. These areas here, if something don't change quick, I just don't get how people don't have their own little agendas to take into the town hall meetings and say, hey, why don't stand up in the crowd actually and be like, yeah, I got something to say. Why don't we work on putting a little bit of our budget toward desalination? Go down the closest waterway, connected to the ocean, build a plant, and start piping in fresh water. Cost some money up front, but in the long haul, it'll save the day, save lives, save everything, save the cities. Or not. Or you can just let it all die in the desert. We got the technology to do this. I mean, for crying out loud, look at Dubai and these places out in the middle of a desert. They turn into like utopias. We could do it here. They're just not doing it. It's not on the list. Like nobody cares. Nobody's enforcing it. People got to speak up. Or, the same arid area is going to dry up. I mean, that's what ran civilizations out of areas. It ran the Mayans out of the freaking area. When you have no water, water is life. There's just not an excuse for it right now. We've got the technology and the means to do it left and right. And beyond that, you guys know that they can cloud seed and they can make it rain. That in itself a weapon. So, left and right, man, nothing's going to change until like good people get in there. But people are fleeing the evils in their states, trying to find something better. Texas seeing a big influx, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, surprising, bam. South Carolina, the fastest per capita growth rate in the country. North Carolina still got a healthy, especially all these areas over here, in the lower Midwest, South here, even down to Louisiana, it's a +3. Florida 6.9. Kentucky, where I'm at, 7. Illinois, you start to run into some trouble. Of course, look at the politics. Look at all the garbage going down there. New York, same thing, 28.2. Massachusetts, same thing. Maine, seeing a big influx of people fleeing those areas and running up. Got them running all the way up into the corner of the country. But people fleeing Maryland and also Jersey. Just to give you a taste of what's going on. And when it comes to the deadliest state for workers, Wyoming tops the list. The fatality rate reflects high-risk industries dominating a small workforce. So you got really dangerous work with just a lower number of people working, so the number stands out. So, yeah, man. Rhode Island, the lowest. Not a lot going on there, though. All right, so this is probably my little bit of comedy for the night. I got to throw it out there. I've seen it, and it's funny. You've got an 8-year-old boy taken to the hospital after being bitten in the leg by a beaver. Now, that's funny. Okay. What's funny is the ensuing battle that took place between a bunch of people here, where eventually someone had to pick this thing up and like throw it out, way out into the water. But this beaver attacks a family, and I don't know, it's pretty comical. Again, not funny that the boy was bitten, but just a relentless beaver, man.
I was getting attacked by a fucking beaver. Yo!
That's 1, 2, 3 people. That's 3 people.
Holy. Holy shit. This thing's coming over.
And a little poodle, little dog.
Yo, it's attacking people.
It's enough to keep it away. I don't know, man. Beavers are like, don't mess with my space, man. I thought that was funny, though. And this one here, anything but. This is terrifying. You have a paraglider. This woman. This was in video clip recorded by Sabrina, Austria. This is in the Alps of Austria. And man, this plane just apparently did not see her and could not maneuver or do anything quick enough. A Cessna hits the paraglider, takes out the chute. It's pretty wild footage here. Coming in here any second. All right now. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And the quick response of getting the backup chute out was life-saving. She hits the ground in the end here. Or lands, should I say. That wasn't the full clip, but she lands and she's like just freaking out, man. Like, and I would be too, but thankful she's alive. So crazy clip. Let's go to Tennessee, where a high school graduation has 11 people arrested after a massive wild fight breaks loose during the ceremony, and it's just like, man. I don't even know what to say. Let's go run a clip. There are so many situations. It just seems like people wild now,
and I'm glad I got to see it.
This story here, a crazy one. Crazy story here has a happy ending. But it's nuts. A happy ending in the fact that the children were found and rescued, but a mother, I guess her boyfriend or whatever, took 2 kids out into the wilderness, into the woods, and just let them go. Left them with a backpack of supplies and all this. Almost like it was some kind of game. for them to just, I don't know, like survive. They just left them. Well, apparently these people were like bought into like a whole end of the world was about to happen or something. The mother's been busted in this whole thing. She's being sent to maximum security Portuguese prison. But the boys were discovered by passing cars that were going down the road. They looked and they seen these boys sitting there crying next to the road and rescued them. It's just insane, man. Heartlessness of some people to send some very young boys, ages 5 and 4, off into the wilderness, discovered crying on a rural road. That's just. I pray that love and a good family finds some boys because they're gonna need it. But at least they survived. Let's go to Indiana. Outrage as a police chief is accused of stealing confiscated guns and reselling them onto the streets of his crime-ridden city. So you wonder why. So this Earl Mayo, 45, the boss of the New Chicago Police Department in Lake County, Indiana, arrested in Ohio on Friday and accused of evading arrest, charged with theft, official misconduct, attempted obstruction of justice, and unlawful possession of anabolic steroids. So this guy was running a ring right here, and now he's busted. So you wonder why the crime is going on in the streets. This guy's he's taking the weapons they confiscate and selling them right back to the thugs in the streets, man, to commit more crimes. And these are weapons, confiscated in drug busts and other dealings that don't have like big time crimes attached to them, murders or things like that, where they can get away with this by and large because some of these weapons just going to sit in a box, in like a vault box, for a long time, maybe forever. But I mean, that's what an evidence room is. And if you do get a collection, you go out, you do something publicly, with them. But like, this guy just made it his own personal business here to start doing this. He got busted. Let's go to Tokyo, to the mall. This reminds me of a story that happened here recently. Much love, Silver Sailor. There was an incident where something was released on a train in the train station in Japan, and it was some kind of chemical substance, and it raised eyebrows. We're like, what's going on here? And they started sending in teams and all that stuff. Well, now over 20 people hospitalized after a man sprays a mystery substance in a luxury Tokyo mall. So it's kind of a similar event here where we've got people getting hit with a mystery substance. We don't know exactly what's going on here. We don't know what it is. It's just pure event. See, carried out in stretchers, and we don't know what it is. It's concerning to me. Ongoing. Nice targeting in these areas. So you got that, and then we've got.
Let's move to Japan. Panic broke out in one of Tokyo's busiest luxury shopping districts after a man sprayed an unidentified substance inside a mall, leaving nearly 20 people feeling unwell. The incident triggered a major emergency response in central Tokyo, with hazmat teams, ambulances and police rushing to the scene. Chaos unfolded in Tokyo's upscale Ginza district after an unknown substance was sprayed inside a luxury shopping complex. According to officials, the incident took place near an ATM on the ground floor of the mall, where a man allegedly released the substance. Authorities were alerted after the scare. Emergency crews quickly evacuated parts of the building as shoppers and workers complained of a strong smell. Visuals from the area showed ambulances, fire engines, and emergency responders lining the streets outside the mall. Several people were seen being taken away on stretchers as firefighters wearing protective hazmat suits carried out inspections inside the complex.
We see something else happen there. I mean, it's already suspicious. If we see anything else, you know there's something major going on in Japan. Now, we've got to figure out what the substance is. If you got any info on this stuff, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Reggie, much love. Much love, everybody out there. Let's go to a situation that took place near the White House. We had shots fired, and this is a crazy situation. We'll play a few clips here, but it's just odd to me that you had all these people just recording at the exact moment of this. That little that window is like, to me.
That President Trump has said a deal is close, only for the two sides to remain far apart.
No. So that was one little news crew doing it. And then here's another dude.
Memorial Day since 2022. President Trump promises the prices will go down, but his grip on Republican support on Capitol Hill is weakening.
Yeah, check your tie. Make sure you, like, what the? So it's like, how many people are going to be out here recording a little news clip at the exact moment of this? It's like, I don't know. But here's the Fox News piece here.
We have you by phone. Can you break this down for us?
Well, Tommy, this is what always happens when we have something like this. I always start to check in on the security situation at the White House, but this is what happened around 6 o'clock this evening. I'm told that a gunman came up near the White House on the west side, what is described to me as Gate 17. This is kind of near 14th Street on the west side of the White House, and came up and brandished some sort of a pistol. We don't know what type of pistol it was, but he then fired toward the White House 3 times. And the United States Secret Service, they returned fire. We don't know how many shots that they got off. And they apparently took the gunman down. Now, sometime in this gunfire exchange, a civilian on the street was struck by this gunfire, and we do not know the condition of that person right now. But the important thing to know is that the gunman who came up with the pistol and was taken down by the Secret Service, and we don't know his condition right now, but he never got inside the perimeter of the White House. And this is, of course,
I mean, you got to be a fool to roll up and start shooting at the White House at this point in time. I mean, most heavily, I mean, you're going to get shot, like, if not killed. Dude, be lucky to be alive at this point. Don't know why. If you're having a bad day, you want to prove a point, you want to do all these different things. There's a lot of different ways to handle things, but this is just like going on social media and threatening Trump or anything like that. You're just begging for them to do something. I mean, you got to think clearly here. There was a guy just walking up by the White House the other day. He was blocks away from it, but close enough. And J.D. Vance's motorcade was coming through and was getting ready to go through the intersection. And their technology up there told them there was a guy walking down the street. They had a gun on him. Guy didn't have it out, brandishing it, threatening to shoot anyone. Wasn't running down toward the corner to try to get some shots off. It's just walking. And they picked up that he had a gun on him. And then they engaged him. They were like, yo, what are you doing? And like they freaked him out. And they started firing on him. And he lost. I think they killed that guy. They've got devices. I've said this many times, all around the White House, the Capitol, all of it. I've been up there and had these guys come out, like the bushes, literally, on me, and wouldn't even let us put a tripod on it with a camera on the ground. And they've wiped my phone. They've hit all of our electronics. They did this during a live stream up there years ago. I've had so many crazy things happen out there, but yeah, shooting at the White House is not a smart idea. Let's go to AI and some talk on AI here. And there's several different things going on.
Joining
here.
me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Rick Crawford. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you for being here. And in that soundbite, we heard the CEO of Lockheed Martin talking about some of the advances for national security. AI is helping us do tremendous things, even to the extent of seeing where these drones are going and being able to intercept and destroy them. Warfare now doesn't look like it did 5 or even 10 years ago. It's incredible.
Yeah, technology is making things move at an exponentially faster rate. So we're having to adapt on the fly. And so you're hearing more of these companies that are bringing technology to the front, to the fore now, so that we can actually combat the threat of things like drone swarms that we've seen in Ukraine and that we were seeing the Iranians deploy against shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. So this technology is going to continue to evolve and develop, and it definitely is changing the battle space.
Yeah, and we were just talking with Kevin Hassett about the economy and potential for growth. AI has been driving this. There's a lot of confidence from investors that AI will make things better, not worse. But part of the Democrat narrative right now is fear-mongering. AI is going to take your job. AI is coming, and the world is going to implode.
Well, a lot of that fear-mongering is coming from China. China is actually trying to sow discord among Americans, among young people. They're using things like TikTok, social media platforms that they developed for this purpose, that is to propagandize the American people, particularly young people who may be vulnerable to that. And so we're hearing an awful lot of negative coming from, oddly, from this generation, because typically the next gen always embraces technology. But we're seeing kind of the opposite, where we're seeing this next generation showing real angst about AI. And a lot of that is being piled on by China. They're creating a narrative that is designed to drive that anxiety over AI and the fear of losing your job to that technology.
Yeah, and we'll be talking a little bit about that later in the show with Ashley Hinson. But with you right now, I want to switch gears and talk about the president working tirelessly into the evening on a potential peace deal with Iran. Trump is now saying that a deal is near finalization. Let's talk about what...
Let's not. Y'all are some shills, and that's just some garbage. AI is an issue for everyone. It transcends the political spectrum, and there's no doubt about it. What's the next one say? $150 humanoid robot house service threatens to undercut maid services. Oh, wow. So they're going to come in, they're going to send in a robot, deliver it, deploy this robot at a home for a flat service charge of $150. And it's smart enough to be able to handle all the basic stuff in your house, to be able to grab the mop the floors. You know, if there's certain stuff that needs to be done, it can pretty much do all of it. It can handle the steps, I'm assuming. Because what happens if the thing trips or doesn't? It better. I don't know. I can only imagine if this thing's trying to come down steps in your home or anytime it hurts you or harms somebody, there's a lawsuit. And somebody could sue their tails off. You heard me? Because these things, it's going to happen. It's gonna fall on someone. It's gonna slip. I can see it's gonna happen at some point. When you got these things going in the homes left and right, at some point an accident's gonna happen. involving one of these. Not to mention that things freak out and just start punching and kicking and going absolutely crazy. Like, they better not drop one of these things off and like leave. They better like be there supervising it, because this thing gets out of hand. They better be able to shut it off, put it down. Better have like a remote kill switch or something. Like, for real. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase says, I think it will reduce our jobs. Yeah. Jamie Dimon predicting AI-driven workforce shift at JP Morgan. Yeah, it's out there. There's no hiding at this time. At this point in time, everyone's saying it. It's absolutely everywhere. Last week I was telling you, Meta was laying off thousands of people, and it's happening all over the place. And they're citing AI specifically. And they want to drop some other news articles, or like the one I just played. What I just said, they're sitting there trying to say the left is fear mongering and it's taking jobs and this, that. It's like, no, it's some of these things are realities. Like, you've got entire sectors that are being taken over. How is that not replacing jobs? You have entire warehouses that we talked about and shown the names of, and the workers, the owners admitting they had hundreds of people. They added AI. There's only 2 or 3 people working there. That's crazy. There's a facts check. What about all that? Is this just lie, garbage? Like, sometimes, man, like, they get caught up in their own crap. Like, you can just look at the facts of the situation out in real time in the real world. Right? That's the best way to get a beat on things. And it's everywhere, especially in factories, factory life, the automation of everything. I'd hate to be someone somewhere that is training this AI to replace them. And like, you kind of have no choice. Like, this is your job, making good money, but like, your job's going to come to an end. Why is it coming to an end? Because of this AI. So what are you going to do about it? You can quit. then they're going to win anyway. Like, you're not going to have the job anyway. Like, what are you going to do? Like, most people are going to sit there and stay on the clock training the AI until their time's up, until the day comes and let go. Like, you're going to have a day like, yeah, like, you're done on this day. AI takes over on this day and your job's no more. Sorry. We'll give you a little separation package, keep you happy, keep your mouth shut, but that's only going to be for a short term. And then the leash is going to be cut, and that's it. That's how a lot of these places are working. I get emails and word from people in all types of sectors. The automation of the assembly line was already one thing, but like with AI and these robots now, it's killing the warehouse. The warehouse is primarily what a lot of people were leaning on for a job, and have been for a long time. I've been all across this country, stayed in a lot of cities. And every city's different, yeah, but every city's got its little business sector, little business hub. Some more ran down, some more vibrant than others. But those say a lot. And like, I know the one that I grew up in was in Heber, Kentucky, up by the airport. That's where all the warehouses are and all the businesses. And I held down multiple jobs up there in that area for years. But I know in other places it's the same thing. These businesses that used to be there employing hundreds of people all of my days, all my life, not anymore. Places that the parking lot would be packed back when I was working there and stuff like that, you go by now and you'd think that it was shut down because there's only a few cars there, but it's not. It's still open and running. The truck's still backing up at the docks and stuff still going. There's just way less people. You can already see it. There used to be mass traffic to get in and out of work in some of them roads in the morning. Everybody trying to get there right before shift begins. Like all the factories had like the same shift schedule. It seemed like, and like you get caught up in that, but like not anymore. Like it's like not it's like not there. It's like what you can already see the effects, and I already hear it from people, man. It's crazy. See all these drones taking off from the airport left and right, delivering stuff and then landing. Oh, nuts. And like they're wiping out Uber jobs, like down Atlanta and other big cities. They've got these little vehicles that are they're straight legal to deliver you whatever. And they'll pull up in, four wheels. You got to go out and get it, out of it and then whatever. But it's pretty crazy. I've shown it. So it's drones, it's these little automated vehicles. I mean, you've already got, and you can have a Tesla programmed from the company to just go out and deliver. You don't even have to have a delivery driver anymore. You see, it's the same concept, and that wipes out jobs, man. That was another big job coming up when I was young. Where I was at when I was young was a ton of opportunity, but like, you could deliver pizza and do stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, the Uber came in, and now it's going to get automated. This is going to cut the person out. It's just going to be all robot. It's happening right before your eyes. So banking, definitely going to be the same. Now, this is a warning that I got for anyone in college out there, anyone thinking about doing something in terms of finance. You might want to think twice and long and hard on this, because it's not saying it here, but they've said it repeatedly already. It's the white collar jobs that are getting wiped out. It's what they're calling the white collar purge. Because of AI, it can come in and it can do what these finance guys were doing, and it can do what 50 of them could do, in seconds. We know this. So Jamie Dimon saying the same thing. I think it will reduce our jobs. Obviously, it will. All sectors. So this brings me to the final one on AI. You've got the Pope sounding the alarm on AI slavery. Now, let me just preface this with this. I do not trust this Pope. I don't trust any of them. White Pope, a black Pope, anyone that wants to call themselves the vicar of Jesus, or, the representation here on earth, when they're actually representing a synagogue that's very not good. I could go on and on and on, that. But the Pope, he's been at odds, it seems, with Trump a little bit. And the Trump administration just kind of full-blown pushing AI and tyrannical everything. Let's just be honest about it. Police state, tyrannical everything. Flock cameras up all over the freaking place. Nobody doing nothing about nothing. And Pope saying, AI slavery is it's gonna be something that has to be addressed. And he's basically saying, look, you cannot run people out of here into the woods. But that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're doing right now. Look, man, I was reading an article earlier, the inundation of all this stuff. There's a time and a place where you can utilize in any business AI in the right way. But like, there's so much AI slop, as they say out here. It's like it's oversaturating everything, and the thing with all the AI stuff is like people are just kind of taking it for gospel, and it's not all the time. We've been proven wrong time and time again, especially Grok. It just sickens me. I block a lot of people that just, when I post something there, they're like, hey, Grok, is this true? And I'm like, look, you're done. Like, first off, I'm not posting fake news over here. It's the real deal. And you want to ask Grok if it's true, like, screw you and Grok. You're asking the same Grok that just was put in a simulation of a real world simulation. He had 10 characters put in it. Most of them killed everybody, burnt everything down. Like, yeah, go ahead, trust all that. I'll pass. Idiots. So, the government's going to roll out tyrannical AI, period. Right? But like I've said before, not all AI is to be feared. Some programs that run off of AI out there can help you do things, and they don't run off data centers or anything like that. Data center is housing the consciousness of the gen. Is what it's doing. So I'll fill in the blanks for you. Let's go to what looks to be a satanic event. At least it looks like it's shaping up to be that way. They're going to have the Octagon coming to the South Lawn. UFC dropping renderings for what this is going to look like. And I'm telling you, man, I just don't like it. I pray to God nothing happens, and if something is planned to happen, that the power of prayer stops it. Because there's not this, like, this is an event that screams to have something crazy happen at it. But there's really only one way it could, and this is the fate to let it. It's in such a confined space. They control every aspect of everything, months in advance. Every high point, everything, the way it's all set up, where people are going to be, from the rooftop of the White House, all these buildings in the background, anything, anywhere, any high point. I mean, come on, we learn from all this crap in the past. Well, even with Charlie Kirk, like all this. I mean, give me a break. Like this event, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to show you. Across the street from the South Lawn is a little park. What is it called? The Ellipse. Right here on the right. Trying to see what this is. This is going to be packed with 85,000 people watching big screen TV. So most of the people are not going to be on the South Lawn. So that's going to be kind of a contained spot behind the fence and in everything else, with just a smaller amount of people around it. But then out here on the Ellipse or whatever in that area, which is an occult area. Dude, I don't trust it. This is the area where 85,000 people, they're giving out free tickets. It just screams that if something was going to happen, they're going to have low security here, because all the security is up on the White House around the ring, around everything it's fenced off, and it might just be all highly secured. But anything outside of that south gate, that fence, out off the South Lawn, across the street, it's a whole different ball game, dude. It's a whole different ball game. That's how they have this set up. So when I see this setup, I'm like, dude, this is as cold as it gets. And like, dude, this is screaming that for an attack, like something to happen. And let me remind you, I'm not just saying that. Why would I say something like that? First off, well, because we were given hints and warning signs to look for something like this. The Rothschild Economist magazine for the year 2026, a look ahead. They're known for telegraphing events that are going to happen. And we inspected it, and it's pure chaos going on what looks like a round surface, but it's actually a huge soccer ball. A dude kicks it, a small dude down the corner. So we knew that a soccer event, which there's a bunch scheduled for this year coming up here anytime, they could be major targets, right? But then when you looked at the whole picture and you broke it down into sections, you could literally divide it into months. And when you broke it down into months, you could see different things were happening. There was like stuff with like one needle, like it popped up, a smaller needle popped up, and that timed out exactly with when this whole Hanta scare just came onto the scene. And then you go on to the next bit of the time frame, and you come to a window where there's two fighters, and they're clearly two fighters. They don't have them in the Olympics like that. Boxers maybe, but not fighters like the UFC. And it falls in the June window. And there's also bombs and chaos going off all over the place around us. So I just thought that the timing was crazy, that when you divided it into the months, that the UFC event falls right into where the fighters fall into that, like perfectly. Like, I don't like it. But what this is showing is toward the end of this year, another jab pops up on the screen, and that a big, I think it was November, a big like staged event looks like it's going to happen. It looks like a container ship launches something, and they show a laser coming down, blasting from space. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's all there for the timeline. And so far, you know, all this is a cult. This is how they work. You need to get hip to it. So something crazy goes down, like, well, how'd you know, W, this time? Like, dude, like sometimes when it's just obvious, all I could say. Like, it's a perfect setup for something crazy. When somebody drives by and runs into a bunch of people, mows them over, or shooting, or a bomb, or maybe they find something, they don't go off. I don't know. Like, it screams like one of them type events. Just does. It's in their playground. Yeah. Again, a lot of security around the White House, I'm sure, for the event, but then across the street, let's go to Thomas Massie. He is vowing, since he got primaried basically by Trump. This is a man that took $0. I don't care for any politician because I just don't trust politicians. But when you want to stack them up and look at who's who here, well, you can begin with who took money from Israel, IPAC. That's a big sellout point right there. You can start there. It's a good litmus test. And Massie passed it beautifully. $0. Okay? And several others have out there. You know, I'm only going to pass to someone like, you know, that might have taken like a few small dollars to do some kind of fund that they didn't even realize led back, you know, to the Mossad in Israel. But most of these cats know full well hundreds of thousands of dollars they've received to influence things in favor of Israel. And they know if they keep doing this, the money keeps rolling in. And Massie wasn't playing this game. When it came to the pedos, he said, all right, you know, I'm going to keep doing my thing. But he got primaried by a guy that no one's ever heard of. Like, you could have drove around anywhere around here in Kentucky, because I'm from here, and no one knows or knew who this Ed Galrin was or whatever at all. It's Massey signs and yards like only, and ridiculous. Like the winning party, they showed the event of that Galrin guy winning. Where all of us followers were sitting, and there was like 15 people, like half drunk, hooting and hollering, and that was it. It wasn't stadiums. It wasn't thousands of people. When you looked at the people that donated to Massie, period, like from Kentucky, I'm not talking Israel, from Kentucky, you were talking hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds, well over 1,000. Might have been closer to thousands of people from Kentucky that donated to him from their own pockets and bank accounts. This shows you where the support comes from, right? The Ed Galrin dude had like 75 people. That was it. And it was like, dude, look at the numbers. He knows he got played. He knows the game's rigged. He knows he can scream and cry about it all he wants. And like nothing happened. He'll never get that seat. But he's in here till January 3rd. And here's the big thing. I would watch it, man. If this dude ends up dead, it's because of what he's about to do. He's throwing in the bird, saying, you want to screw me? I've been in this the right way, doing this legit the entire time, and you want to be so corrupt. You did, all right, execute me in the wide open then. Problem is they will, bro. They will. You see Charlie Kirk? They will. Problem is, I think he's done a good job of not having any, he don't have Mossad security around him or anything else, but that doesn't matter. Like that JFK, they do anything. It's the same Mossad that kills them all. Does it all. It's the same team, right? Same one. So Massey is about to drop names of everyone on the Epstein list. Maybe this is the way it was always supposed to happen to come out. Maybe it's the only way it was going to come out. Get ready, because he's going to do it. He's going to start dropping names and situations that it's going to show that your government this whole time under Bondi, which is now gone, all this other stuff, it was all ruse, and they were covering all this, every bit of it. And you're going to see all these people. The question is now, is anyone going to do anything about it? You know, MACA, timing is everything. MACA is a fractured, limping poodle over in the corner right now. A shell of what it once was the MAGA train. And they can't seem to muster anything. It's like the people collectively have got to come together on this. But again, some people are so disgusted with politics and all this. They're just like, yeah, get away from me. Like this whole thing, like, but if you do that, you never really solve a problem. You need to confront the issue, is what you're going to find out. If you can ignore it for so long, it's going to come around and bite you in the tail and keep biting you in the tail and come back to haunt you. All right. Like, you got to do something. You got to rally. You got to get people together, and you can do it in a peaceful way. It never has to be this violent way. 50 people meet up and rally outside of the mayor's office on a day he's going to be there, and just ask to talk. Maybe he comes out and talks and have a peaceful talk. Hit him with the good questions, hit him with the good stuff. If they want to deflect or do any of this crap, show it. But you don't have to bring out the pitchforks. There's time and place for everything. But I will say, the election whole thing, come on. The whole thing's a sham. It's a sham. So I can't wait till he gives up this information.
I want to ask about the Epstein files. As you've noted, the speech and debate clause actually protects you from being prosecuted for whatever you say on the floor of the House. You have named names in the Epstein files in the past. Can we expect you to name more names in the coming weeks and months?
Yes. Todd Blanche is violating the law. There's still millions of files they haven't released. We know from talking to the victims' lawyers that their own 302 forms haven't been released. We know that files have been over-redacted. I have released at least 3 names of billionaires who are implicated in this. I don't think it's possible to get to convictions with Todd Blanche at the top and with the FBI director, Kash Patel, at the top, because they've effectively both perjured themselves by saying that there's nobody else in the files. Even Melania doesn't believe that. The First Lady knows that Jeffrey Epstein didn't act alone. And here's the great thing, Kristen. Whether I'm in Congress or not, the Epstein Files Transparency Act is a law, and it goes on for years. So if we can't get this Attorney General and this FBI Director to do the right thing, the next ones who take those seats are obligated by law to release the files that these individuals are not releasing now.
Congressman, I want to ask.
So, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't have to get to this point, but man, I'm telling you, when you get to this level, it's like, watch out for some kind of like cutting his brake lines, like something crazy to get him. He needs to drop more than just, obviously, the 3s. He's dropped 3, but he's going to be dropping more. He needs to just drop it all. I mean, what else does he got to lose? What are you waiting for? At this point, like, the threat is real when you go against the beast out here with your life. They will take shots at you. I told you earlier about Phil Snyder, and they eventually got him. But you work for the people is what these politicians need to always remember. And I'll just take it back to the fact that, he took no money from Israel, and it's very rare. And he's standing a ground that no one else will stand. I commend him for that. I salute him for that. I don't want nothing to happen to him. But I would have done it. I think the longer he sits here with them stewing, any billionaire is sitting out there stewing, thinking, is this son of a bitch about to name me? Is he about to name me? Is he? Like, he's got to go. Like, we can't have this. Like, they can't sleep at night. Do you understand? Like, he's a problem. And for every night that this goes on, they're conjuring up a plan. I'm telling you, it's not good. They're working. If he just goes and does it, what he does is, he lets the cat out of the bag. And they could still always come and hit him. But it's different now. Now, all of a sudden, the dudes ain't sitting there just worrying about, he might release money. Now, their name's out there. And it's known. Now, all of a sudden, their phone's blowing up. They ain't got time to plot to kill you. Because they're dealing with damage control. Do you understand? Big time. Overload. What they were trying to prevent. But if he leaves this window there, he's letting these guys, they could potentially do him harm, plot. Like, I would just do it. At this point, I would do it. It's the safest bet. And this is dangerous territory. There's no doubt about it. But I think it's more dangerous the longer that you drag this out, to be honest with you, on names. Especially with people out there with connections and, like, to the deep state, and, like, will kill. So come on, bring them on out. More than just, Les Wexner. Some of the guys we already knew for years. I will say that once he did name, or ones that kind of already knew, but drop the list, man. Drop the big dog list. If he doesn't, it's to his own demise, in my opinion. Where we at? 9:24. I guess I'm just gonna keep pushing through some of these here. I want to point out this is a quick way to get the word around in your city. If your city has very dirty sidewalks, streets, or whatever hasn't been cleaned because the people you elected don't care, you can do what Spencer Pratt did here. Whether you like him or hate him, this is a genius move. He was trying to get everyone in the area to campaign for him, to vote for him. And he's like, look, I'm going to go to spray painting something. What they went in with was a stencil, threw it on the ground, dirty ass ground, and got pressure cleaner out and just blasted it. So as you could see in the image, it says, imagine if the streets were this clean. Spencer Pratt. That it is genius for mayor of LA. It is. It's crazy that it's that dirty and that overran that he didn't have to. That it's used. This used the situation for what it was. But then also people are going around, and they're every single pothole that's not filled in or answered, they're putting vote for and putting Pratt around it. Vote for Pratt. So this is spreading for him big time. So when he gets in, he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to make moves and definitely allocate money to these areas. That would be the first thing attacking one. But it seems to be a pretty genius thing. because roads falling apart, dirty. Guess who else is gearing up big time for not just vice president, but presidential talk? This is AOC. AOC is apparently stepping toward a 2028 presidential bid. Now, this woman is a gaffe machine. I don't know if it matters or not, though. So was Biden. Super gaffe machine. Didn't matter. They gave him to us. I see Newsom being more of the one, because I already see Newsom's being courted by other world leaders around the world, and it's like they know he's going to be the next one up. But he's going to have a vice, right? It seems like these Dems, Kamala was in the mix last time, right? She was the main female on the scene that they used. AOC seems to be the new one. And she's trying, they're putting her out there. If you've noticed, they just put her out there giving a speech on a stage in front of all these people, talking about people should pull up to the South and trying to talk. She's ridiculous if you ask me, but she was behind this bulletproof glass, and it's like, you ain't nothing special. Kamala says, she hints at that she's gonna run again. It's just like, so you're gonna have AOC and Kamala both out here? Dude, this is gonna be this is gonna be comedy. But not, nothing funny about this is a real deal though. We're getting screwed. They just give us these people to choose from. And that's what they're doing. They're priming the audience, for these people. Thomas Massey, as we just talked about, he's not going to rule out a 2028 run. And I tell you what, the timing here for him would work. But come on, he would have to run independent, 100%. I don't know. He's definitely. The whole Trump side just primaried you, man. The whole Republican GOP just primaried you, dude. You ain't running there. He doesn't fundamentally believe in what the Dems do. It leaves independent wide open. Wide open. And he would be someone with the steam to fill that. Is it enough to win it? Probably not, because the whole thing's rigged anyway. You know this. And he knows that. Knowing you just got shafted in a primary, in an election that he should have easily won. You gonna tell me you're gonna try to run for a presidency without fixing the election system? Now, see, this is where I start to question things. You see, and just having a third horse in the race is a monkey wrench sometimes. It changes things, the dynamic of just the left-right paradigm. For real. Because now all of a sudden, if he consumes 15, 20% of all the vote, that could be the difference maker there between Dem and Republican. It could cut it down real close. It could change the game. Would more Republicans vote independent then? That would leave more Democrats out there voting Dem, and they could possibly benefit. The Dems could from that, versus Republicans, because they would view the independent as never going to be able to muster up enough to ever be a real viable threat. Which, who knows? The day and the time could come where the option's been there. But and Elon Musk has talked all this crap about, running, a different party, independent or something else. The next go, The characters will be interesting, but it's all show. Nothing's changed. The establishment hasn't changed. The hierarchy hasn't changed. All the evil SOBs running this game has not changed. And again, Massey, start dropping names. I believe you want to see it, I guess. In a rare phone call, Macron, France's leader, warns Belarus against joining the Ukraine war. And it's like they're back to back with Russia. There's nothing that you're ever going to do to stop that. You've got this whole connection here that, this war front is heating up. Okay. I'll say this. They had a little truce here recently, but now it's like it's heating back up. And now the UK is accusing Russia of jamming GPS of their jet that was returning from Estonia. So you got, accusations all over the place. And then, if you don't know what has happened over the weekend, here recently, in the past few days, okay, Ukraine decided that it was going to bomb an area in Luhansk. Luhansk is in the eastern regions of Ukraine, which is an area Russia took over. So it's like now going to be Russia territory. Ukraine's pissed because of all this, how much Russia has taken over. And they tried to fire back at an innocent place. And they hit a college dorm of all places, killing 21 people, mostly students, mostly girls. And like this just set Vladimir Putin and Russia off bad. What they did is they opened up with the Oreshnik missiles on Kiev. Kiev is the last stronghold. This is it. We always said when you get to Kiev, this is it. Like they either find Zelensky somewhere in here and they kill him, bomb him out and kill him, or Zelensky, like a madman, is going to launch a nuke. Because it's the last thing he's got. And Russia knows this. And Russia just roll out the hypersonics. No one can stop the hypersonics. Anything they're sent toward, they destroy. And some of these videos here show the whole sky lit up. Massive orange fireballs. This is what happens when these hypersonics start raining down. It's Armageddon. Like for real. Oh, that's going to try to take me over to Twitter. Can't play that one. I forgot another clip. So, Russia hits them hard, and they put out a warning. They said, if you guys don't listen and don't back down or something, come to some kind of an agreement, that they are going to begin systematic strikes inside of Ukraine, inside of Kiev, the major city. They're going to hit military targets, and this is what they're doing. Moscow's now putting out a warning to all foreigners, any innocent person, any citizen, any innocent person. Leave the Ukrainian capital right now. They're about to level it. They're about to hammer it. Okay? And when you roll out these Oreshnik hypersonics, man, you can do it in the blink of an eye. They can't be stopped. And all they got to do is strap a tactical nuke on the tip of it. Really. They're saying they're targeting military targets, as you can see here. But I'm going to tell you, if they think that Zelensky's in a bunker somewhere in the city underneath of a bank or a housing block, they're going to hit it. They're going to hit it. And they're going to be like, we told you, get out. We told everybody to get out. This is a war. They did. Look, Zelensky and them don't do that. They don't care. They've been bombing Chernobyl and the other nuclear plant. They've been hitting them left and right. Like they don't, like kamikaze, like they don't care if it causes chaos. What they just do, they just purposely hit a dorm and don't care and killed a bunch of innocent people. They don't care. That's animal. They need ended once and for all. It needs done. It needs done. So if you're going to try and do this stuff, Russia is coming back and going to wipe you out. And if you're in Kiev, all I can say right now is like, you better get out, gone. You better be as far away from this area. It better be a ghost town. Like, I would have done been gone, like a long time ago. Like, this place is on the verge of the big dog. You can't do much more. Like, you are at Kiev. You're at the last stronghold. We've waited all these years for this in Russia. It's painstakingly, block by block, town by town, worked their way, and they earned it at a huge loss, massive loss of Russian troops. But they've won it outright through bloody trench warfare. In the drones have been huge. In the hypersonics. So now they're about to make their move on Kiev to where they're going to raise a Russian flag in there. You think they're going to sit there and piddle around? No, they're not. They're coming to hammer them out and take over the place. And like, I get out. I get out. Like, you better watch out for the gun. They got them back on the run. Yeah. Dropping the bodies and doing it quick and doing it just for the fun. It's been a killing field in witnessing this all these years. I'll be glad when it comes to a close. I fear what's going to come to a close or bring it to a close is a mushroom cloud. And again, it's these Oreshnik hypersonics that just look. They look like this when they come raining down. Little beams of light. Like liquid lightning. Just like... They make these little chirp sounds and then just obliterate everything on the ground. And remember, that's with regular warheads. Like, we've yet to see a tactical nuke go off strapped to one of these. I feel it's about to happen. And that will be monstrous. A handful of these come in with tactical nukes, it's over. It's over. The only place that they can run is to the west. Zelensky and them were out of the country. Because to the north is Belarus. To the east is all Russia. It is Crimea and all that stuff been snatched up by Russia. The only way they can run is either out in the water, into the ocean, or into the sea, or to the west. Yeah. So I'm just saying, in the meantime, they try to say progress made on an Iran deal. Oh my gosh. They say this every other day. Do they not? And then right back the other direction. And it's garbage. Nobody knows where Iran's disfigured leader is. What do you think? You think that if they're trying to kill you, hunt you down and kill you, are you going to let them know where you're at? Are you kidding me? Like, no way. So, like, are they trying to bait him out? Like, they're not going to fall for it again. Like, no way. And who knows? Maybe they do at some point do some kind of recording or a series of recordings. That's how I would do it. And it would have to be done. You have to have a series of recordings, a whole bunch like being done right now, and have them released from somewhere else, of course, where they wouldn't know where if you're underground somewhere, they're not going to know where you're recording this from. If you're outside somewhere giving it away with a certain building behind you, they're going to know that you're in that area. But if they keep it underground and do it the right way, they could potentially film a series of messages to be dropped. And at some point, he's going to have to do this to corral the Iranian people. And it's some sort of proof of life, period, of who's running the show. Are they going to go on forever and ever and ever with the mystery man that no one's ever seen? Not even the public? Like, yeah. It changes things when you're at war with the beast. You cannot live life normal. You're on the run at any time, any day. They can kill you. They're hunting you. They're watching. They're constantly watching, as I said before, by satellite and everything else. They're just waiting to get a hint of a sign on where he's at. And as soon as they do, they're going to bomb it. I just told you, they're talking, oh, we got a peace deal. We almost got a peace deal. We got a peace deal. Dude's still hiding. I don't think so. What's the next one say? Reports of a deadly U.S.-Israeli airstrike on Iran's port of Bandar Abbas tonight, as Trump issues an enriched uranium demand. So much for a peace deal. Just sweet talking you over there, wasn't he? Had you almost believing it again. And then boom, drop bombs on him. Boom, kill more people. That's what he did. It's exactly what they keep doing. So Israel dramatically ramps up the war bombing of Lebanon and all these other areas at the same time. All these other areas firing up. And again, like, Iran's like, screw you, Trump, you're a liar. And how is there a peace deal when you just bombed the port? I don't know where this is going to be tomorrow morning. Seriously. It's that shifty on all this. I don't know where the market's going to be. They could have spent the whole holiday weekend bombing the crap out of them. I'm glad it did not happen. But, there's windows, I guess, for these things. And it just wasn't right. They're ready, though, and they're talking about ground troops, which makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Like, you're talking about a super prolonged war in that aspect. There's no way. You're going to send troops in for what? They're not even telling you or saying anything. You have to go through one of the most notoriously difficult mountain ranges on the planet to get anywhere near Tehran from the water. And that's how they're going to try to do this. There's no way. Even if you drop guys 50 miles into the mountains, it's into the mountains. And you have no idea. They're just going to get chopped and screwed by every person that's got a gun in those mountains jumping in. They're just going to get ate alive. You can't go carpet bomb all those areas. That's the problem with the mountains. The mountains have so many cracks and crevices, you've got to go literally right over top of every single one to see down in it to try to clear it. And when you do that, you leave your belly open and you get shot down. People better start learning from some of these war fronts because it's coming here. So Trump is demanding they give up this uranium, and this is he's being puppeteered by Bibi in Israel. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's gonna get us hit. It's gonna get us licked in the end. The word is Iran destroyed 20% of our Reaper drones. So they did a decent job, and they're still sitting on the best of the best. They haven't even begun to use their high-grade hypersonics. They haven't even begun to use their high-grade drones. They haven't. They've rebuilt the stuff in record time and speed inside of Iran that was hit this last wave just to prove a point. To say, screw you. You're not going to leave this place looking like Gaza. You're not gonna, that's what they've done. I'll give them that. That's I give them props in that aspect. They've been defiant, right in the face of the beast. Like, oh yeah. What's crazy here is like, like Iran admits that they've got this stuff out there. They're not lying about it. They're admitting it, but they're saying they have a right to. Israel is just bold-faced liars. Oh yeah, and their leader has an international criminal arrest warrant in Bibi Netanyahu. You know, like, what is going on here? Like, we're literally backing the wrong side in this whole thing. Like, that's, if we were the good guys in this world, the righteous team, nuh-uh, that's not what's going on here. Oh, you can't never believe anything Iran says, Dabu. Why? Because you've been brainwashed by your damn TV this whole damn time? Yep. Don't lie. You're damaged goods. Act like all the people in Iran need to suffer and they're all liars or something, and that we have righteous legs to stand on in this war. We have no legs to stand on in this war. This is all because of Israel and Netanyahu wanting to take out a weapon of mass destruction in another country just like Iraq. I've been here before. Maybe you forgot. Maybe you just don't really care. Put down your pom-poms. Smell the reality. I know who the beast is. I know who's gone through and killed everybody this whole time. Maybe you haven't woke up to it yet. We done figured this bitch out. And who kills them all? It's the Mossad. That's right. Evil factions of these alphabet gangs, including your own here in this country, are of the wickedest. They kill everybody. They're the ones. It's figured out. No one has the kahunas to go and confront them. Because everyone knows. Everyone knows at this point, plenty clear on social media, who the bad guys, who the demons are, murdering women and children all day long, anywhere they want. But oh yeah, that's our biggest ally. And then get out of here. You're smoking some opium. I don't know what you're smoking. Meantime, UAE has built a pipeline to bypass Hormuz, which is strategic. You should never let someone hold you in a pinch point. But you don't think they won't hit it with a hypersonic? You spend all this time and money. You don't think it's not going to get hit? I say you're crazy. I say it becomes a prime target. That's what I say. All right. So, let me see where we're at here. Coming up on top of the hour. All right, so I'm going to switch gears. Much love again, tacos. Hoodie Ross, cats that share the stream. Censorship is very real. Only way to beat it is literally in the hands of you guys sharing. It's the only way. I can't beat it anymore. When they censor you, they censor you. When they put you in a bubble, you're in a bubble. Only way is it's in your hands. And when people don't do that, it just don't happen. So it's in your hands, literally. In this fight. Because that's just the way that it is. When you deal with the real, when you deal with the ones that are heavily censored on the hardcore stuff. No, we go for the jugular right here. Much love, Seymour Cannabis. Let's dive into Casey, Anita Wilson. My name's not Casey. My name is not Casey. It's Dabu7 and my real name is not Casey. I think you have me confused with Enter the Stars, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. That was on the show years and years ago. He's out there still doing his own thing, but yeah. Colorado. Much love again, tacos and family. Everybody up there. As you can see here, this is talking aliens in Colorado. It's got a clip, but this runs deeper and this ties into the main thing that I've got the title. The CIA is hunting alien bloodlines, as they call it, which we know as the Fallen. This is very interesting. It's all good, Anita. It's all good. They don't hate you. Nothing but love. I was just correcting the situation, letting you know. Anyone else out there, I've seen it before, but I mean, it happens. Yeah, water under the bridge. Nothing major. Much love. This is the topic. This is the stuff that intrigues me the most. All this. Let me run this clip, and then we're gonna dive in. Okay, so much love to everybody. Anybody just chiming in, diving into the deep stuff here. And here we go with this clip.
He said, look, we know that Kit Green at the CIA has some program to access the 23andMe and like whatever Ancestry.com databases through some backdoor, and that they are screening the entire, whoever signs up for these services, for a specific genetic variance from the normal Homo sapiens population, which the CIA knows to be the genetic marker of these Nordics. And they said, look, our children, especially our grandchildren, have no idea where they're from. We tell them stories about how like their grandparents are from Sweden or whatever. And they don't know, we just want them to have lives of peace and liberty here in America. But the CIA wants to hunt them down. And and this was why they met with Lynn. They said, would you please go back to these people and tell them we are not trying to take over your government. We just want to live here in peace and to please leave our children alone.
Dude, that's bad, and that's sad, and that's pathetic. But this is explosive. What he just said right there, and it's true. They got a backdoor into everything. In the screening for a specific line. Now, I've known this. Yeah, this article just dropped, and I try to line these things up with people, with relevant things going down. But these are things that I've already known. I'm gonna tell you that they're looking for a little bit of everything here. They're looking for several different things. Okay, so anyone tries to come in, they're just looking for no, they're looking for several different things. Anything if it's really of interest anyway. Why would you ignore? Why if you're going into somewhere and you're looking for something and there's all these other things, why would you just ignore them? You would make note. And that's what they're doing, and they're filtering all these bloodlines. You see, I'm gonna tell you that it goes beyond this. Probably into complete other programs. So what they're looking for is a marker, a genetic marker. And the genetic marker can it's going to tell you a lot about whatever the subject is that you're on. It's going to tell you the species, bloodline type, all of its biometric data, anything that they have on it, on file. So if they want to know, well, let's just say that if your blood type is like type O negative. It's just saying something crazy. And they know, for instance, that a certain type of entity, let's just call them Nephilim, that their genetic gene code is structured a certain way. They know this because they found Gilgamesh, and plenty of others at this point. So they know the genetic code structure And they know that there's other people out there that carry it, which means that they carry the ability to do certain things. Now, this might sound wild and crazy to you, but certain humans have the ability to see things that other humans can't. And through their genetic structure, again, these markers, they'll know if they have a higher probability of being able to do some things. One of these things is, and this is factual, just like remote viewing and the crazy stuff that they do out there, some humans have the ability to see beyond the 1% of the visual spectrum that we see. And that's nuts. Remember, we only see 1% of what is in this world. That's crazy. Just, it's nuts. We're running around here blindfolded, peeking through the blindfold, if that. But this whole thing is basically like, they want to know, obviously, if anyone's carrying the seed of Nephilim, but also like Project Looking Glass and all these others, they are told of a specific type of people or person that is the biggest threat to them. So there's a perfect enemy to them, so to speak, that they can see, that they don't like, that seems to be, that operates more intelligent, that seems to figure the whole thing out better than anyone else. And there's a gene and a trait for that. You understand? And they want to eliminate it. I would never, unless you want to do some kind of test, I would never use your personal information in one of these, especially your own personal blood and stuff. And these tests are crazy because of the results that come back. They've done lizards, and if the results come back as astronauts eat you and all this other stuff, like wild results. Like, are you guys even really, like, what in the, like, what's going on? But 23andMe and Ancestry, it seems like a cool thing. Also, I'm going to say is, like, if you have a family member that's done it or this and that, like, you better just lean on them for the results. But even then, if something happens to them, you see, they give up their blood in the entire thing. The entire structure of their blood is analyzed in a ton of ways when you submit it to Ancestry and 23andMe. So it's not just finding matching relatives. That's what it's sold as. But dude, it's doing so much more than that. It's doing more on the back end than it ever is on the front end. So it's kind of disguised to sucker people into giving up their blood, but you are getting results. You are getting, oh my gosh, I'm related to Abraham Lincoln, or, I'm related to, whoever, through the bloodline. That's sometimes crazy stuff to see. Yes. But again, if you are what they're trying to track and kill, was it worth it? Old auntie goes and does a 23andMe test, and all of a sudden, they see something in hers that could be in a bunch of you. I'd steer clear of it, man. And thank you, Frank Holiday. Much love. May the Most High bless you as well. I appreciate that super chat here this evening. It is Memorial Day. Here we're at top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Yeah, see a bunch of people out trying to enjoy the weather, but really not enjoying the weather. A lot of rain, flooding going on. End of the day here. I wouldn't use these services. Right, all right, like just wouldn't do it. They're nefarious, and I'd steer clear. They're hunting, and you know, it's one thing, be a pure blood and all that, but if you're carrying, I mean, it could just be what they're hunting for down the road. Just anybody that's staying pure, and at some point that's worth something. Period. Like at this point, you got a large part of the population out there that took a jab, so in that blood is not accepted places. You know that, right? Like people they got a jab that want to try to go give blood or this and that, that they'll get rejected because it's tainted. What does that tell you? It tells you felt you were suckered. You fell for it. You could never give blood ever again. They catch on to it. You could lie, but if you got jabbed, they find out. They're gonna run it anyway. Because it all should be tested. But I don't know. The whole thing of blood and blood transfusion is kind of disgusting anyway. We should just never know. It's good to know that it can save a life, but to infuse someone's body with blood that, I don't know. Yeah, it's clean blood, but it just came from some crackhead. Like, what? Like, you sure you want to hear or die? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, do you even know? And like, blood is such a special thing. And the whole thing with water and blood and like everything carrying memory. Like, it's why people say they get replacement hearts, that they feel the emotion of like the past person and all the crazy wildness. I can see that. But we are avatars connected to a body, and I'm going to finish tonight with this last piece, and it's only fitting, I guess. With all this talk of aliens and deception, when I seen this article, I really couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe, and I said, "Is it really that time? What do y'all do? You're trying to wake everybody up here, or something? What are you doing? Like, you're not really, but like you're putting a feeler out, and that's what they're doing." Scientists discover a third eye hidden in the human body, and the reason why it's there. Well, like, shut the front door. Like, you're choosing right now, here today, to speak on this like it's brand new. Why? This has been known forever, but you're dropping the seed into the minds of a larger audience. This isn't just some Dabu 7 over here talking about it. Here you have a mainstream outlet reporting on that, like there's a third eye buried, and they're trying to explain it away here. Like it's brand new or something. It's not. It's been there this whole time. Tards. You've been third eye blind. They say that it's been buried in the middle of your head this whole time, and that researchers just now are putting together that this thing can do certain things. And I'm telling you, we know what it can do. It's the seat of the soul. It is the pineal gland. It also produces melatonin. This is where this whole thing goes down. This is where the cycle of getting out of here comes into play. You can only achieve it by walking righteous. You can only do it by operating your system the right way. When you operate the system the way someone asked you to, it performs on a high frequency way that it would blow your mind, but you would never know because you never tried it. Okay? Yes, Andrew, and thank you for the super chat. I like going for exactly what the Messiah said. I like going for what he said, not some other verses, although they are important. But it's pick and choose from the Council of Nicaea out of your Bible. And I look larger to the Ethiopian 81 book and set like that because that's where the real knowledge sits. All the rest of the pieces of the puzzle. And it's all there. All this was hidden. It was encoded. They tried to wipe it out. But see, the Most High, Jesus, Yeshua, they were all more intelligent than modern man ever was. They knew that when they were speak on getting out of here, that it would be forbidden. They would hunt people down. They would erase it. They would burn it. They would kill. But Jesus knew that if he hid it in his parables, which he did over and over again, somehow, some way you would find it. And that these idiots out here on the surface looking for any sign of it wouldn't see it because they would read that they would read it with the caveman mind that they have. They would read that when the man went into the upper chamber inside to gather, they would think that a man literally went into an upper chamber. When the man wrestled the lion, Samson, that he literally wrestled the lion. When it was all metaphor and a parable to get you to see something's hidden. Because it was the only way they were going to get it through. Now do you see? Now do you see? Hidden by the man himself, encoded. It's the parable. It's insane, amazing. And it's just one thing, the way out. Gospel of Thomas. Gospel of Philip. Mary. Judah. All stripped. Because of what it tells you. You start talking of Thomas and Philip. And the one that basically, it's a manual. It's a manual of what happens in this life and what happens when you leave here. It's Jesus saying it, and they stripped it. It's him saying it, not someone else's thoughts, not someone else's being. It's him, his commands, him, what he says. That is what I'm talking about. That's all that matters to me. Even some of his own disciples wouldn't accept it, wouldn't hear, couldn't believe some of the stuff. This is why the Gospel of Mary was so important. And they knew that she was entrusted with all of his biggest secrets. But they couldn't stand this. Right when he died, Peter went against this. And of course, the whole church was then built on Peter. Okay? You know that in Philip, what does it say? What happens in these hidden Gospels? You know what Jesus took Judah to the side. Judas. Because none of the other disciples would hear what he said. He's like, they're not ready. They don't understand. They'll try to save the body, and the body's not to be saved. He said this, and he told Judas. Judas understood that the body had to die. So the whole story is told out there, and all the rest of the script that, Judas sold him out and this, that. But Judas in these scriptures, clearly, he was chosen. Jesus told him and pulled him off to the side and told him what was going to go down. Okay? Because he understood, like Mary. But Mary was female, and Peter and them would not have a female at the head of the church. It's why she was labeled a prostitute. Do you understand that? And Peter ended up being the rock of what ended up being your church today, your vicar, your Vatican, your synagogue of Satan. Statues going all the way back of little boys, their heads buried in men's privates, left and right, all over the place. Get out of here. The pedophilia all over the place. Get out of here. Like, to the deepest roots of the Black Pope, all of them, get out of here. We know it. It's what runs this place. This place is ran by witches and wizards. Do you understand? That's a fact, Jack. When you accept it and realize this, you understand a couple of things. It gives you a power to overcome and see the hold that they've had on you. Because it only works when you're blind to it. You also see, though, that there's a power here that's been given to all men, and that they kept it secret and utilized it for themselves and use it against you. How to manipulate your polarity. All these things that are basic sciences, but they kept them hidden from you. So when it's hidden from you and used against you, it seems as magic. Do you understand? There's a process to get out of here, and it's called raising your chrism. I've told you time and time before, the oil of gladness that is in your Bible. The process, the way out is in. Most people don't want to do it because they want to live how they want to. Okay? They want to live how they want to. That's not the way out. That's the way it get regurgitated. And even Jesus said it. Jesus described the structure when you go to leave this place. He described the archons and the jinn that are sitting here in this encapsulated prison, overseeing the whole thing. Don't you think that that's pretty important? It should piss you off. They stripped it out of your Bible. But it's just like Enoch. It's just like the rest. It tells you the whole story. That they don't want you to know. You want to know why? Because what Jesus said, seek the kingdom of God within you. He told you over and over. It came as the blueprint to go on and do greater things than he said. It's the blueprint. Okay? How to overcome this evil. And he called it all out. He called it all out. The ruler of this world, every bit of it, took him on high and offered him every city. And yet Jesus even told his disciples that that's not the supreme. This is of the physical. Home is of the Most High, as it said. The energy, the eternal source, the spark that's in all of us. Your soul, you, your essence. When you remember this, it changes everything. All of this physical realm is meant to make you forget it all. You're bogged down to the lowest levels of frequency. This is why the Anunnaki had to leave, remember? Because it started to kill them. It made them deteriorate. You need to raise your vibration, your frequency. This is the key. It's there. You know it. It's in front of you. It's not a secret anymore. What I've seen is the secret's been spilled. It's a lack. It's laziness. That's what's going to get your soul regurgitated because you didn't do. As so many people try to say, all you have to believe in is Jesus. I don't have to do nothing else. But like with your attitude, you can just go on believing that. And good luck. In all these books that got stripped out, what is Jesus one of? In every single one of them. That you better be doing the work now. Now. Not just believe in him. What does he specifically state? He says they will believe in the name of a dead man. He says this. And they will not put their work in that is due. He knew it. And even told them. Again, they stripped it out of your Bible. You better be putting in work. The beautiful thing is you don't have to know none of this. You could be a beautiful, vibrant soul that just knows to be good and do good all the time in your life. And guess what? You're going to pass. You can pass out of here. Because you will naturally be raising all the time. because you live righteous. You didn't have to know none of the secrets. But the secret is you can't get there without living righteous. You can't do none of these things doing bad things. Being an alcoholic, being a druggie, being anything that's going to sever your energy. There's a process to this. There's a way out. You know what's crazy is Jesus even said that you must complete. There's a process that you must complete in this life. And they called it the resurrection. Not of an after thing. He spoke of the event of now, of finding the God within you, the kingdom of God within you. This is Jesus that says these things. And they're so powerful. You know why it's dangerous to them? What does Jesus tell you the whole time? No, this is from no one else. This is him. Seek the kingdom of God within you. I'm going to keep it right there. One scripture, one verse. That's actually in your Bible. Okay? Keep it right there. You know how dangerous that is? When you do that, you find out exactly what he was telling you to find. And it takes the power out of the hands of these priests and these false prophets, these churches that just collect money and have no true value for the spirit. You see now. They teach none of this because this is the power. They have a power over you and they want that power. The same as taking away your electricity, free energy. They want the power of metering you and controlling you. It's the same thing spiritually. They don't want you to seek and you to know what you are, because then you don't need that fool at the pulpit. You become wiser than he, and you will go farther than he. Especially those that sat there and played men for money. Karma is real. And you'll be asked some questions, I'm sure, when you leave here. You know, when you walk righteous, you have nothing to fear. Believe in the Most High. Believe in the Lord Jesus. Believe what he actually said. Don't just say you believe in him. You believe in the Bible and go out there doing his that will. Do as he said. That's what I do. I swear it should be called a complete different religion when it's not even out there. I don't even like to use the word religion. Because it's also, it would just get coupled with the rest. But it's actually just doing what he says. Let's just start there. And that's where I keep it. That's what I believe in most. So. I'll keep it there. I think I'll end it on that tonight. So, much love to all of you. Here on this Memorial Day again. Check the emails here real quick. I don't see nothing in there. Check the chat before we roll out. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll look to see you here next time on Wednesday. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Just sticking to the schedule right now, 8 p.m. Eastern. And check the chat here. A few things. A couple comments. Wake up. Who cares? Terry, Deanne, E-Phase, Time Traveler, Nush, Meaningless, Steve, again, thank you so much for everything. Crown Jewels, my brother. I don't know. You know how this music goes, man. I make the music these days simply because of, it's another way to wake people up and just fight the beast. Hoodie's been there with me, and Crown Jewels there. Kiki, you know, fighting the fight, putting out music, and calling out the beast. And I want to continue to use that as a weapon. Because it is. It's an avenue of waking people up. That it's just another way of reaching people. And yeah, Yeshua's King. Thank you guys for everything. For hanging out, for sharing, for caring. Interesting window we're in now. I will say from here on out. Let's just say the summer begins. You know, Memorial Day. It's usually around Memorial Day to Labor Day. So this kicks off the run. I think we're going to see several big events over the summer. I don't know the exact time, but like we're in that window. It begins. So head on a swivel. Be safe at any place out there that has large crowds. Just be mindful of your surroundings. I just feel that it's time for them to start making moves out there, and they have not a problem with mowing people down or doing whatever these days, it seems. Just be safe. It's the biggest thing. So yeah, hope you guys had a blessed day as well. Much love, everyone. And make sure you're following on X. Checking the channel here daily. Take us out of here. Well, if you're not interested in being near the public, you better move to the mountains. You better find you a place away. GG, Christian, much love. Pixie, God bless. Everybody, much love. Skate up.